Hello Tangam, welcome to GullyClassroom. This is the 7th lecture in manufacturing industries in CBSE 10th standard geography chapter 6 manufacturing industries. This is our 7th lecture. In this particular lecture, we are going to study the different types of pollution that are caused by the manufacturing industries. The different types of pollution that are caused by the manufacturing industries. How are we going to control this pollution? How are we going to control this pollution? And finally, we will do a case study about how NTPC, National Thermal Power Corporation of India, on how NTPC, National Thermal Power Corporation of India is taking steps to control environmental pollution. Is taking steps to control environmental pollution. Let us start from what are the different kinds of pollution that are caused by the manufacturing industries. Okay, the 4 different kinds of pollution that are caused by the manufacturing industries are air pollution, water pollution, thermal pollution and noise pollution. Air pollution, water pollution, thermal and noise pollution. Let us go towards each type of pollution in a one by one fashion. Firstly, air pollution. Air pollution is caused by a greater proportion, a greater ratio of undesirable gases in the atmosphere. Undesirable gases, gases that are not desired, gases that are not needed. So, air pollution is caused by a higher proportion of undesirable gases which are released into the atmosphere by the manufacturing industries like sulfur dioxide, SO2, like carbon monoxide, CO. Carbon monoxide. A lot of airborne particulates are also released into the atmosphere. There are 2 types of airborne particulates. What are airborne particulates? Particles that are lighter than air and are carried by air are called as airborne particulates. So the 2 types of airborne particulates are liquid and solid. In liquid we have sprays and mist. With respect to solid we have dust and smoke. What are the different types of industries which are going to release smoke into the atmosphere? We have chemical factories, paper factories, brick kilns, refineries, smelting, burning of fossil fuels, smelting plants, aluminium smelting plants and burning of fossil fuels. Okay, sir, are there any toxic gases that are released into the atmosphere? Yes. When accidents happen with respect to the industry, a lot of toxic gases can also be released into the atmosphere which can be very hazardous, dangerous and cause very long-term effects. For example, we can state Bhopal gas tragedy. Okay, this air pollution is affecting not just human health, animals, plants, buildings and the entire atmosphere as a whole. Animals, plants, buildings and the entire atmosphere as a whole. That's basically air pollution. So air pollution is caused by high proportion of undesirable gases in the atmosphere like SO2 and CO. Airborne particulates are present in the atmosphere which is causing pollution. Smoke is emitted by such and such industries. Toxic gases, hazardous long-term effects, and it is not only affecting humans but it is affecting animals, plants and atmosphere. So what about water pollution? Water pollution is caused by organic as well as inorganic materials, inorganic particles which are mixed into the water by the industries, which are discharged into the water by the industries. Sir, what kind of industries are doing this? Who are the main culprits? Who are the main industries which are doing this venomous act? Paper industry, pulp industry, chemical, textile, dyeing, petroleum refineries, tanneries and electroplating industries. Such industries are releasing. What are they releasing, sir? Dyes, detergents, acids, salts, heavy metals like lead and mercury, pesticides, fertilizers and synthetic chemicals. All these substances contain carbon, a lot of carbon in which are connected as a chain, will not easily decompose. Carbon, plastics and rubber. They contain carbon, plastics and rubber and these are released into the water bodies and because of this water pollution is happening. industries also release a lot of solid wastes into the water bodies. What are the different solid wastes released by the industries into the water bodies? Good examples are fly ash, phosphogypsum, iron and steel slags. Fly ash. What is fly ash, sir? Fly ash is a waste product from coal industry. When you are using coal as your main power source, when you are using coal as your main power source, you will get a byproduct, a waste product, which is called as fly ash. Ash that is literally flying is called as fly ash. Phosphogypsum, it is a waste product from fertilizer industry. What about iron and steel slags? It is a waste product from extraction of iron and steel. It is a waste product from extraction of iron and steel. Okay, sir. Now we know about air pollution and water pollution. Let us study about thermal pollution. Thermal means heat. How is heat going to pollute a particular environment? Let us look at it. When you are using hot water, vaporized water in an industry and releasing the hot water into streams or rivers without cooling it down, without removing all the hazardous substances from the water, it is causing pollution. When what kind of water? Hot water from the industries and factories and thermal power plants are drained into the rivers and ponds even before cooling. What is happening? Thermal pollution is happening. It is increasing the normal temperature of the river and thereby causing a change in the living environment of the river. This is called as thermal pollution of the river. Sir, how does nuclear power plant waste affect the environment? Nuclear power plant waste are extremely hazardous. They cause cancers, birth defects and miscarriages. Okay, soil and water pollution are extremely closely related to one another. Soil and water pollution are extremely closely related to one another. How? Let us say you are polluting the soil. The rain washes away all the pollutants into the river and the river, the water in turn gets polluted. Sir, what about the effect from water to land? The water is carrying the pollutants and it is moving through the soil, moving through the small holes in the soil. This process is called as percolation. When water is moving through the small pores, pores, when water is moving through the small pores in the soil, it is called as percolation. The pollutants in the river percolate through the soil and reach our water table. Where do they reach? They reach our water table, and because they reach our water table, because they reach our groundwater, it is affecting our drinking water. It is affecting our drinking water. Sir, what are the useless things that we put on the soil and pollute it? We are putting glass, chemicals, packaging materials, salts and garbage. Packaging materials, salt and garbage. Okay, that's basically your thermal pollution and nuclear power plant waste. Let us look about noise pollution in short. Noise is actually a pollutant. How, sir? Noise literally causes irritation, anger. It also causes hearing impairment, increasing heart rate and increased blood pressure. Increased heart rate and increased blood pressure. Okay, and it also causes other physiological effects in such a way. Noise is actually an irritant and a source of great stress. What are the different types of industries that make a lot of noise? In other words, what are the different type of activities that create a lot of noise? When generators are working, there is a lot of noise. In electric drills, factory equipments, machineries, saws, other industrial and construction activity gives out a lot of noise, which in turn is acting as an irritant and a source of stress for everybody. So we have looked at 4 types of pollution. We started with air pollution, water pollution, thermal pollution, and we ended with noise pollution. Sir, how are we going to control these different types of pollution? Okay, first let us start with water pollution. 1 liter of wastewater is going to pollute 8 liters of water, pure water, of fresh water. Just 1 liter of wastewater is going to pollute 8 liters of fresh water. So this is how dangerous if water pollution is, how are you going to control industrial pollution of freshwater resources? We are going to do three things. There are three specific steps. First, we are going to reduce the amount of water used in the processing of processing in the industries. We are going to reduce the amount of water used in the processing in industries. Okay, how, sir? Give me an example. Let us say in a manufacturing industry there are three steps. 1, 2, 3. In the first step, let's say I am using some 10 liters of water. After using 10 liters is too small. In the first step, let us say I am using some 30 liters of water. The 30 liters of water can be recycled and reused once more in the second step. In the second step, I will use the recycled water from the first step. Once more, after using it in the second step, I will recycle it once more and reuse it in the third step. By this process, by using less water in each processing step in the industry. How? By recycling and reusing water, we can reduce the amount of water used in the industry. We can do rainwater harvesting. Finally, you can treat water and its effluents before releasing them into the river. There are essentially three steps for treating water. The first step is primary step. The second step is secondary step. Obviously, the third step is tertiary step. Primary, secondary, tertiary step. In the primary step, you are going to do a lot of mechanical processes like screening, grinding and sedimentation. In the secondary step, you are going to use biological processes. Sir, I can understand mechanical processes. Water will be flowing. We can grind the water, separate them. We can use the process of sedimentation that I already learned in 7th or 8th standard, where I will allow particles of higher weight to settle in the water. Remove the water that is in the top layers. Okay, what about biological process, sir? There are certain bacteria that can eat chemicals. In the second step, secondary step, we will add these bacteria and use them to eat away the wastes. What about the primary last step, which is the tertiary step? In the tertiary step, we will use a combination of biological steps, chemical steps and physical processes to ultimately clean the water. So these are the three steps by which you are going to control the amount of water pollution that is done by the manufacturing industries. Okay, sir. How am I supposed to control the industries which are overdrawing a lot of groundwater and depleting the aquifers, underground aquifers, overdrawing a lot of water and depleting the underground aquifers? This is what you are going to do. Regulate them legally. Give laws that dictate how much water they should draw from the ground. Give laws that will dictate how much water they will draw from the ground. Okay, what next? How are you going to manage particulate matter in the air? The particulate matter in the air are managed by having smokestacks in the factories that are fitted with. Let me repeat. By having the particulate matter in the air are removed by having smokestacks in factories which are fitted with fabric filters. What are fabric filters? When particulates are filtered by a cloth-like material, by a fabric, it is called as fabric filters. Electrostatic precipitators. What is the meaning of electrostatic precipitators? When you are using the charges of the dust particles, electrostatic property of the dust particles, in order to separate them, they are called as electrostatic precipitators. What are scrubbers? They will scrub the air clean. They will literally wipe the air clean. Inertial separators. Inertial separators use the property of inertia. What is inertia? Let us say I am running fast and simply stopping. My mass will not stop. It will carry me forward a couple of seconds or just for a fraction of a second. When I am running fast and stopping, my mass will carry me forward just for a couple of seconds. Okay, that is called as, what is it called as? Inertial separators. The separators that use the property of inertia in order to separate the dust particles from the smoke from the air is called as inertial separators. So the smokestacks are used with fabric filters, electrostatic precipitators, scrubbers, inertial separators. Sir, how are you going to reduce the amount of smoke released by the factories? Coal is going to release a lot of smoke. Why, sir? Coal is going to release fly ash. Fly ash is a major pollutant of the coal industry, of thermal power plants. Fly ash is a major pollutant of the thermal industry, of coal power plants. In order to reduce the amount of smoke, we are going to use oil and gas instead of coal. Oil and gas instead of coal. You can redesign the machinery such that the energy efficiency will increase and also the noise will decrease. Energy efficiency will decrease and the noise will decrease. Energy efficiency will increase and the noise will decrease. Finally, in order to reduce the amount of noise which is heard by us, obviously the noise that is produced by the manufacturing industries, we can use earplugs and earphones. Earplugs and earphones for personal use. Okay, sir. Now we have learned completely how we are going to control the environmental degradation that is caused due to the pollution of the manufacturing industries. Let us look at a case study. NTPC. What is NTPC? National Thermal Power Corporation. It is a major power producing corporation in India. Here it has an ISO certification. What is ISO? International Standards Organization. They are giving a certification which is called as EMS, Environment Management System, under the number 14001. Under the number 14001. So NTPC, National Thermal Power Corporation, has got EMS, Environmental Management System certification from ISO, International Standards Organization. What does this certification entail? What does this certification signify? What is the importance of this certification? Let us look at it. Okay, it signifies that NTPC will have a proactive approach in preserving the natural and environmental resources. So what is proactive? Active means, let us say I am giving you some work. If you are doing it immediately, it is called as active. Let us say you are having an idea of what work I am going to tell you. You are having an idea of what work I am going to tell you. You predict what I will give you as work and do it by yourself. That is called as proactive. It is greater than active. Okay, so how are we going to, not we, how is NTPC going to save the environment even before it is causing any pollution? Even before it is causing any pollution. When NTPC is setting up a thermal power plant, it is taking care to accommodate 5 different policies. It is taking care to accommodate 5 different policies. They are given as A, B, C, D, E. Let us look at those points one by one. Point A. Equipment is optimally utilized. Equipment optimally. What is it, sir? You are always upgrading the equipment because you are always using the latest technology with upgraded equipment. You are consuming less energy, you are consuming less energy, consuming less energy, producing more output, producing less noise. So equipment has to be optimally utilized. Minimum waste generation. Sir, what is the waste here? I already told you, these are coal power plants. Fly ash is a major pollutant of coal power plants. So minimizing waste generation is done by using fly ash in different ways. Maximizing the use of fly ash. If fly ash is not simply sent out into the atmosphere, there will be no pollution. So we need to use fly ash, that is a byproduct of coal industry, coal thermal power plants. So second point is we need to minimize waste generation. Fly ash generation must be minimized. Third point, green belts must be generated. You need to plant more trees. You need to do a lot of afforestation. Why? In order to maintain ecological balance. For maintaining ecological balance, reducing environmental pollution can be done by recycling, and by liquid waste management. Recycling and liquid waste management. Finally, you can also do ecological monitoring, reviews, and an online database management can be maintained with respect to all the units of NTPC, which can share the information about the ecology of the entire country. Let me repeat the 5 points. The first point with respect to NTPC is they are having their equipment is optimally utilized. They are using the latest techniques with upgraded equipment. They are minimizing waste generation by maximizing the utilization of fly ash. They are putting up a lot of green belts for maintaining ecological balance. This is done by afforestation. They are reducing the environmental pollution by better water management and recycling. Finally, they are having good ecological monitoring, reviews, and an online database system through which they review the ecology of the entire environment. Yeah, this is the final part of the lecture. Yeah, this was a bit of a long lecture, but I did not want to leave any points. When I am teaching you, I did not want to leave any points. Thank you for sitting through this long lecture. Anyway, how are you going to study this particular lecture? Okay, a 4-star question can be asked. What is the question? They can ask you, how is the industry polluting our environment? So you will write about air pollution a couple of points, water pollution a couple of points, thermal pollution a couple of points, noise pollution a couple of points. So that's a 5-mark question. What about the next question, sir? They can also ask about a 3-star or 4-star question about how are you going to control. I am repeating the question. How are you going to control the water pollution by the manufacturing industries? You will write these 3 points. The water pollution by the manufacturing industries. You will specifically write these 3 points. Right, sir? What is the next question? They can ask you a case study about NTPC. What are the steps taken by NTPC in order to prevent pollution? How is NTPC being proactive in supporting the environment of our country? Such kind of a question might be asked. This is also an important 4-star question. 4-star or can also be rated as a 5-star question. That's basically our lecture. Hope you guys enjoyed this lecture. If you like this lecture, obviously click the bell icon, subscribe to our channel, yeah, or click the like button. Kindly click the like button. Yeah, cheers and thank you. Hope to meet you guys in the next lecture. Thank you, Tanga. Thank you. Best wishes, Tanga. Thank you.